What's up guys, T here, back here with a little bit more Hearts of Iron 4 footage. Today we're going to be talking about the recruit and deploy screen, just breaking it down. It should be a pretty short video, it's not terribly complicated in here. Basically when you want to train troops, you go over and select whatever troop you want to train, you hit train, self-explanatory. You can add units to bolster to train more at a time, but it will spread the equipment over the 4 of them. Which does slow, like if you don't have enough equipment to train all 4 at one time, like obviously I don't here, it'll train at a slower rate, obviously 1/4 of the rate, because it'll have to wait for the equipment, whereas if I just trade 1, it would be faster because all the equipment could go towards 1 training. To kind of break down what else is, you gotta pick where to deploy them once they're fully trained. You just go and click that and then click whatever territory you want and it auto sets it. Also, this is the count of how many you're going to produce. So I'm 1 out of infinite, so it'll just keep, if I never cancel it, it'll just keep producing them over and over and over again. And you can set that to any limit you want, so you can produce a certain quantity of troops. We're just going to set it to 1 to 1. Also, you can set the priority of equipment. So whatever priority you set it to is how they're going to prioritize sending equipment to which group and where. In certain quantities. So if I have reinforcement, if I want my men in the field to get priority reinforcements, which is usually true, I'll put highest reinforcement on them, and then I don't really want them to be upgrading, so I'm going to drop that down. If these guys aren't ready to go, why upgrade? So I'm going to put these at the middle, so they're going to get some. The majority is going to go here, and then if we have some to upgrade, we can. So that's just kind of the priority thing. You get to pick what to send where, how prioritized. These right here is going to be for deploying the units. Like if you want to deploy them early, you can. You can manually force deploy. So after the training level hits 20%, you can manually deploy. The downside of this is that green units are going to have a combat nerf. So they're going to be a lot worse in combat because they haven't been properly trained. You're basically sending civilians to the slaughter. Not a good thing, guys. Also, if they're under-equipped, again, you're fighting at not full fighting strength, you're not going to have a good time. So you're going to want both of these bars to fill up. This bar cannot fill up, so see it's 82 out of 87 because equipment's only at 87%. It can only get as far as the equipment they have. They can't train without equipment, that's just a fact. So you're going to have to wait for this to fill up, you're going to have to produce all your stuff, and then they're going to train with it and get out in the field. So that's how that mechanic works. If you hit X, obviously you cancel their order, cancel the training order. But now getting into something a little more complicated is the division designer template. So basically if you go and click edit, or if you go to division designer but edit, you can open up the template for each individual division. You can see that we have all of our divisions here, different kinds. We can also create a custom one if we want. And what you do is you use your army experience, which I haven't touched on yet, which I'll touch on now, is accumulated up here. And you get army experience through combat with your army, or if you have a political leader that gives you army experience, that's also possible. Or the third option is using your general to click this and you hit exercise, and it gives army experience from those exercises per day. You get a certain amount per day from those exercises. The thing you have to be aware of is it drops their organization way down, so they're vulnerable, as well as it causes attrition, so it uses up equipment during that time frame, because obviously if you're shooting a rifle to train, you're using ammo, you're expending broken rifles, whatever else not, so you're going to be using equipment each day. So that's where that attrition factor comes in. So you trade equipment for XP, basically, is what's going on. So if you have the production, it's good. If you don't, then you're hurting yourself, because your armies won't be ready for war when wartime comes. But anyway, back to the designer. Once you have this XP, what you're going to want to do with it is edit your division. So a really important thing is to have all the support companies. There's 7 support companies, you can only have 5, but to have the 5 you want here, based on the buffs you need for that certain. Well, there's 7 ones plus the support anti-air plus the artillery plus the anti-tank. So there's technically 10. There's 7 plus the 3 support weapons. So there's 10. You can only have 5. Honestly, it depends on what type of division it is. There really is no say-all, this is the best thing to have. It's kind of just custom, all different buffs, you gotta play with them. For my infantry companies, I like to have them be able to entrench. I like to have them be able to do recon for extra defensive bonuses. I don't like using any of the support weapons because if I'm going to use a support weapon, I'm just going to go over here and hit the plus here and go infantry and then just actually manually add it in. I'd rather have these free for me to use for those other ones that can't be manually added in. So I never use that for that because that's just silly in my mind when I can just use it over here. But basically you can do that, and like kind of showed you can add infantry, you can actually add armored battalions as well as mobile infantry, so cavalry, motorized, mechanized, if I had it researched. And you can do whatever you want, really. It's up to you. As long as you have the equipment, you're able to throw whatever you want in here. So that's pretty cool. And it's really up to you to play with. A really simple tip and trick is infantry, really good at defending. If you just give them some support artillery, a little tiny bit of anti-air, and a little tiny bit of anti-tank, it's a pretty good all-around unit. They're not going to move very fast, but they'll hold your front line, and they'll be able to push across the front line as well, using the artillery to cover their advance and give them some attack power. So just a really basic unit is just some infantry with a little bit of artillery, and then the support companies like a field hospital and the entrenching, the engineer company, and things like that, logistics. That's a really basic one just to kind of get you started and then play with it from there. I'm not going to go too much into that right now. This is just more of a basic video, but that's pretty neat. You can do that. With that being said, guys, really that's all that there is to the recruit and deploy screen. I'd like to thank you so much for watching. If you like the content, please do subscribe. It means so much to me. It helps me out a lot here. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one.